Hello, team. This is your host, Arzu, and this is the Mosaic podcast. This is the place where we put the pieces of light in business, one intentional piece at a time, to make something masterful, beautiful, amazing, and extra, not so ordinary. All right. So, welcome back to this podcast. Gosh, I'm so glad you're here. You are back. You're here with me. You are listening to me. I really, really appreciate. I love you. No, I don't appreciate. I love you. Like, if you guys are listening to me and I'm like starting to see these like super cool analytics, I love that you're here. I really, really mean it. Like, you are my people. This is amazing. And just the fact that you're here, that shows me the kind of person you are. And I love that. And thank you for being here. And I mean it. Okay? So today, I'm going to talk to you about one of those nights, where you feel like you're so exhausted because you're like me, because you understand, you're here, right? You understand me because your mind sometimes just won't turn off because you have ideas, you have big goals, you have many responsibilities, you're excited, you're pressured, there is pressure, but yet it is super exciting. So, if it is you, it is also me, right? That has been me lately. And in one of those moments, probably too late at night, I've turned to TV to improve what I do. Sometimes I do watch reality shows to just get my mind off of things. But sometimes what I do is when I watch TV, I watch the YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to kind of get ideas. And I came across a video from Ali Abdal. If you haven't seen his YouTube videos, you probably have, because you're my people, you probably have. But if you haven't, check him out. He started his YouTube channel. I've been following him for a while. He started his YouTube channel when he was a physician. And he talks about productivity. He talks about how he manages his time. He started out his online business trying to help other physicians get ready for their clinicals and their exams. But along the way, he literally turned his channel into so much more than that. But he talked about, with the new year, up in us, right? He talked about a system that he uses to achieve their goals. And he called it GPS system. And how nice and how relevant, right? GPS. I'll tell you what that means. But, when I came across his video, by the way, his channel, his video productivity, the quality of his videos literally exponentially have gotten better because he's now pretty much running a team who produces his shows and so on. But anyhow, I'm kind of getting off track. But the system that he talked about really brought me a little bit of a calm and told me, kind of revealed the areas that I maybe need to pay more attention to. Now, don't get me wrong. I have been subscribed to goal setting methodologies for many, many years. Okay. I set my goals. I have a system of achieving them. This is by no means to replace my own system. And I still have vision boards. I still have the word of the year. I still have set 90-day goals. I still have a different type of methodology that I go about achieving my goals. But this system, to me, is a little bit of not necessarily giving me motivation, but maybe giving me a little bit more structure. and hold me accountable when maybe I am tired or emotional or maybe stretched too thin. And I feel like this is where this GPS system will fill in the blanks for me. Now, I'll talk to you about my system and everything in a future episode, but really let's focus on this maybe area that GPS system feels right for me. Now, G stands for goals, P stands for plans, and S stands for systems. So last part, mainly the last part really changed everything for me. But let me kind of, really start with, how he sets up this system. And he has 3 sub areas that he focuses on in each area. Like in goals, this is all about laying down, the goals that you want to achieve in different categories of life, and how how to make your goals specific, and also how to make them meaningful. So you don't just set specific goals, but you make them so that you write them down why it is so meaningful to you, and why, if you don't achieve it, what would it look like for you? So that was a critical distinction. And then so that's what I added to my goals list, by the way. So I fine-tuned my goal-setting methodology with this system. So that's something that I took away from the G section of the GPS system. Now, E is all about how you'll get there. One thing that was really an aha moment for me in his plans is, plans is like step-by-step instructions of how you're going to get to your goal. It's almost like your to-do list per se, okay? But what he said was that if you haven't achieved the goal that you wanted to achieve, it is probably that your steps are not very realistic. Your plan isn't realistic. So what you need to do is you need to take a look at your plan and really honestly have an authentic conversation with yourself and say, if I execute this plan, do I truly believe that it is going to take me to my goal? And give it a try for 3 months, maybe. If it is not making a difference, then your plan is not correct. You may need to do some adjustments. So really having that system and having that moment to question your plan is also a critical aha moment. Okay, so I want you to do that. Take a look at your plans and ask yourself, if I execute these, is this going to take me there, right? And then the last part is the systems, because you can have goals, you can have the great plans, but when you execute your systems, because systems get into place is when they get into place is what you do when motivation disappears, right? Systems protect you on days that feels ordinary and you don't want to do things, because that's when your systems come into play. That's almost like a protection mechanism, right? So as an example, right? So with my apps, right? The goal is clear. My plan is mapped out. But the systems is what keeps me showing up when it would be easier to not show up. So me, I talked about it. I have my goals. I have my health goals. Let's just focus on that for a second, okay? I had my goal. I have my plans, and I even have structure, right? But what I realized is that in the systems section, what Ali talks about is, first of all, you need to track your plan. So are you executing? If you're not tracking, you're not measuring your success. So you need to track it. You need to have a system that monitors it and alerts you on the things that you need to do, which I already do that. But then one thing that he mentioned is that you also need to find a way to create an accountability system. And not because you lack discipline, right? But so that, you invest in some support and create that value so it is sustainable for you, right? So that shift alone, for me, it felt like self-respect, right? So if you're super busy and if you're motivated but inconsistent, it's not because it's a character flaw or anything like that. Maybe it's a systems gap that is missing for you, and it is fixable, my friends, okay? It is fixable. So as from my personal life, this year, as you know, I go to the gym almost every day. I track my progress. I measure I know how I am going towards my goals. But for me, what was missing is having that accountability system. So I'm changing things up a little bit this year. And I'll talk a little bit about that also. But so it's really the systems we build externally also matter. It's not just the inner work, right? So I want you to move through life with intention. And then I want you to create goals, create your realistic steps to achieve that goal. And so that you're in a place that you are sure that if you execute this plan, you can get to your goal, but also have a systems, internal and external. Okay. So that you can get accountability. All right. So let me go through our affirmations for this episode. And maybe, you know what, external systems are important, but when it comes to internal motivation, maybe you can check out the Subliminal Vault that I created for you. It's a companion to this podcast where all these affirmations are available on their own. You can save them and then you can listen to them later, right? So whenever you need that reset on your nervous system in an internal accountability way, they are there for you to support. But, right, if you need that external system, we also monitor that, right? Do you need another accountability buddy for your health goals, maybe, right? And if you don't want to, maybe you need to join a group fitness program that you like-minded people, you're around like-minded people. Maybe you don't need a bigger gym where you get lost. Maybe you need a smaller accountability system, right? That's what I'm doing to protect my goal. That's what I needed this year. And I'll tell you how it is working, right? So anyhow, just do an audit. Do your GPS system and see how your goals, if there's any crux in your systems, if in your plans, and then fill in those gaps and bulletproof. You can do it. You really can. So this week's affirmations are: you move through life with intention. You trust the systems you build. You don't need urgency, you need consistency. You are allowed to move at your own pace. Your life is aligning even when you can't see it yet. Right, my friends? I hope this episode gives you a little bit of a pause in the middle of January or February, whenever you're listening this podcast episode, right? It could be October, I don't know, right? I hope it brings some clarity with your goal setting processes. And then I hope you continue building your masterful life and business. one intentional piece at a time. Take care. Till next time. Bye.